many partner organizations will converge to better shape the future of sustainable development. From 27th to 30th of April 2024, Riyadh will be the epicenter of global dialogue and collaboration. Join us as we continue this collective journey of collaboration, inspiration, and transformation. 2024 ISDB Group Annual Meetings and Golden Jubilee, celebrating 50 years of impact, innovation, and partnership. Cherishing our past, charting our future.
Mohamed, same question. What has been your experience working with the Islamic Development Bank, and what have been delivered?
شكرا.
I consider that it is such a great place, and the Islamic Bank for Development is a great place for mutual cooperation, South-to-South cooperation within the agency, and the bank have such a great mutual history in this regard, and has robust relationships to have mutual cooperation, consultation, and mutual trust. The Islamic Bank for Development is the most important partner for the agency, in addition to other partners such as the International Agency for Cooperation and other entities relating to this. Equally important, there are three levels in terms of the agency relationship to the bank. The first level has been to execute the technical field for the bank implementation, which is represented in was established 1983, and the agency, of course, worked hard through implementing different process operations scheduled in this program, particularly when it comes to sending Tunisian experts for further technical cooperation and support for different countries requiring such kind of support or need, and also capacity building in different fields within the framework of this program. The second level has been the participation engagement of the bank and the agency in different initiative programs that are mutual, the most important of which is, to mention but a few, volunteering in eye diseases, which is a project that was based on or started in 2003, and it has such a great impact on the human health, particularly when it comes to the African countries. So many achievements have been realized by virtue of this program. Just some examples to be quoted: 90 volunteering operations or processes have been organized, through which, of course, 30,000 medical operations for the eyes, for the people disease, impacted with this. That is 58,000 people from Africa were diagnosed, and more than 218,000 doctors and physicians, of course, have been also assigned as eye doctors, and also still processes undergoing. In addition to different mutual projects, particularly I'm speaking here about coping up, the agency being coping up always to the updated sent by the bank, the way of expertise and knowledge being always shared. So far, we have implemented 6 projects in this field, of course, with the Islamic Bank Development. I can cite some telling examples. There is a project for the Arabic language learning in education in Chad for different years to develop the Arabic language education in Chad, which is a very important program or project in terms of the projects, in terms of supporting and providing training in this regard. There is another project coming into play, which is for the agricultural products in Guinea, particularly the mango production and other trees, which is very important as a project in terms of the development of the value chain, particularly it gives it more value, opening the doors wide for more exportation. There is another project which is very important, particularly post-COVID-19 pandemic, which is establishing a laboratory for analysis for COVID-19 pandemic in Comoros Island. equally important, other programs have also come into play in terms of the mutual cooperation and coordination with the bank, particularly to develop the South-to-South ecosystem in the member countries. The agency, of course, has further developed and worked with the bank in addition to other countries to further develop their systems and laws. There are other projects to cite and quote, but I just want to be a little brief on these projects that are very important. There is a third level, of course, in terms of the ratio between the agency and the bank, which is supporting the capacity and of the agency. The bank has been always in support of the agency to enhance their capacity building and the South-to-South agency in Tunisia. Now we are implementing a project in close cooperation with the Brazilian agency, in addition to the bank, the development bank, the Islamic Development Bank, in order to enhance the South-to-South in Tunisia, and also giving it the mechanisms, the state-of-the-art methods and mechanisms so to enhance and realize different targets in the field. Also, the bank has contributed to enhancing and developing different capacity building levels through the unlimited support of in this project and others. We, in close cooperation with the bank, we are always to develop the South-to-South ecosystem with the member countries and enhance their levels as higher as possible, of course, tangibly to achieve the target, the development and growth targets. This is what I have wanted to really share with you. So the agency in Tunisia is an apparatus, an organ that is concerned with providing South-to-South cooperation or coordination. So the agency provides South-to-South cooperation coordination, very much like in Tunisia. So the agency it's not an agency in two-way cooperation and coordination. It is an organ that provides South-to-South support and cooperation to share expertise, knowledge, and the readily made solutions across different countries. In brief, we have such a great history with the bank, and we will continue working further with the bank for further South-to-South cooperation coordination, enhancing it to higher levels. Thank you very much. Your attention is highly.
Come back to you with the follow-up questions on what are the main lessons learned from initiatives jointly undertaken by the bank in the area of national ecosystems for South-South and triangular corporations.
Thank you. For the lessons that we can learn in this respect, we note that the South-South cooperation is something that is still weak at the level of understanding or awareness. The awareness about the importance of this cooperation to achieve the development objectives and the importance of it to create or to find solutions for the different problems or challenges. The lessons include, for example, the focus on different experiences, different contexts, and the effective solutions that we need to introduce to the countries of the South, despite all the great work that has been done by the different parties, including the United Nations, for example, in their South Galaxy platform. But despite that, matching the needs and the requirements with the demand, with what is offered, is something that is still weak. And therefore, we need to understand the success stories that can be replicated. And there is also another daunting challenge that is related to the development of public policies in the field of South-South cooperation. In most of the cases, there is no clear strategy at the national level for the South-South cooperation. Yes, we have elements of South-South cooperation in some fields and aspects, but at the level of the countries of the South, there are still gaps, and there is no South-to-South cooperation system in these countries. At the level of some projects that we implemented with the bank to develop the South-South cooperation, what we have noticed is that the South-South cooperation, we can find it in different aspects and fields, but it is not visible and it's not part of the policies or the strategies. It is, and it's not part of the funding mechanisms or the coordination mechanisms. This is what we have noticed, and therefore this cooperation has to be institutionalized. Other lessons may include, for example, the issue of funding the South-South cooperation. In most of the cases, we find difficulties in funding many of the operations under the framework of this cooperation, and therefore we have to think of devising mechanisms for the funding of the South-South cooperation, because this is instrumental in order to achieve development. This is briefly the key lessons that we can learn, which we have noticed in our work. And of course, there are other issues that we need to work on, especially regarding the networking, the relations, the networking between the different institutions in the countries of the South, and to facilitate the process of sharing the knowledge and sharing the experiences. And this is something that can be worked on in order to foster this cooperation and to make this cooperation as a very important tool to achieve the development objectives.
Very, very interesting, a lot of food for thought. I think the point on no clear strategies, I think that we touched on it, we discussed it at some point, that strategies are not really at country level, maybe clear and developed in such a way that there is the funding mechanism that goes with it is missing. I think this is really a great point.